timing chain install on my 97 Cobra motor. I already got my oil pump in. First thing, I'm going to go ahead and put this dowel in, torque it to 89 inch-pounds. So that's the first hole right underneath the water pump. So torque this guy. I got this thing from Harbor Freight, a little cheap torque adapter. I've checked it with my other torque wrenches and it's pretty accurate, but it makes this pretty easy of a step here. You just set your parameter, like I said, 89 inch-pounds, and you give it a twist. And just keep going here. There we go, 60. Dang. And come on. There we go. That's it. By the way, if I didn't mention it before, this is the Ford Racing timing chain kit that I got and I'm installing here. It's a pretty good kit. Everything looks robust, everything was well built. Came with a nice little bag of bolts and instructions that aren't really that adequate. For instance, like they have pictures of the bolts. Don't really list what the length, what size, so I'm kind of guessing here. Anyways, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start installing these chain guides. This one of the short bolts from the kit fits in there, and then this one is kind of a long bolt, goes into the oil pump. I was able to find this one in the kit. Pretty sure this is the one that goes there. It's the only one that's actually long enough and the correct thread, width to fit in there. So install that one just like that. All right, so this side, see this goes in this hole here. The bottom drops down to that hole there. And this one is labeled as bolt with washer. And that one's just a regular short bolt. And there's only one in the kit that has a bolt with a washer, so that one's got to be it. The other one, I'm just going to put one of these in it. All right, next up is installing the left and right hand tensioners. Pretty easy to tell apart because one has 2 bolts on the top, the other one has 2 bolts in the face. So, self-explanatory there. I'll go ahead and pick up once they're in. All right, so these are the bolts they want you to use with this side. The shorter of the group here, and the ones for this side are the really long guys here. Obviously the only ones that fit all the way down it. And just pop that sucker up there. Started. Grab this one. Pop it on over here as well. Oh, I gotta remove the other bolt still. Silly me. Come on. Why did I thread it in so far? Oh my God. There we go. All right. See if I can do this with one hand. I'm just gonna try and just prop it between my knees here. There we go. I don't know if you can see any of that. might go ahead and just get a extension with a socket on it and run those in. But that's how it should look so far. Ran into my first little snafu with this Ford Racing timing chain kit. I guess that they sent me one for 99 and up, 4.6, because cam gear they sent me has a tooth in it, and these 96 and 98 cams already have a tooth there. So I was like trying to put it together, I wasn't paying attention. I trying to slide these gears on there, and I was like, man, this chain is not lining up for shit. And I finally realized that because that tooth is interfering with that tooth. For comparison's sake, these are the ones that came out of it. Nice big tooth in there. I think these are actually off a Mark VIII, probably. But the chain is the same. Like I put them side by side. The teeth are the same size, same count. The timing marks are in the same place. It's the same gear. It's just one has a tooth, the other one is toothless. It's screwed for a tooth. So it's the only snafu I ran into so far is I have to put my old gears on the new chain, but it's no problem. It'll be just fine. I'd like to note while I'm here that on the passenger side, there's a bevel on each one. I'll show you on this one here. The bevel side, flat side. Passenger side, the bevel sticks out so you can get correct chain alignment. On the driver's side, the bevel goes inward so we get correct chain alignment. But yeah, that's it so far. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this together. Another note, I don't think I mentioned it yet. These are all also 89 inch-pounds for torque. Everything that's in here that I've ran into so far. So, found another difference as I was trying to put the cam bolts in. So here we have 96 and 98 Cobra cam bolt. They're torque to yield, so I can't reuse them. This kit was supposed to come with new cam bolts, and it did. However, as you can see here, they are much smaller. Look at the difference. Oh, it's really hard to try and position these for you, but much smaller. They literally slide right in. Don't even touch the threads. So, me, of course, I only had 2 ARP cam gear or cam bolts left over, and so now I have to order another 2 to finish putting this together because I don't want to risk using the old bolts and risk them breaking, and yeah, waiting on my other 2 to come in. So this is gonna go again to the back corner of my garage until my bolts show up. It's supposed to be on Wednesday, but it's gonna snow probably the next 2 days, and nobody likes to do any work around here after it snows, so more than likely I won't get them until Friday or Saturday at the earliest. So I guess I could change this gasket out while I'm here, but I don't know. We'll find something to do. Well, as it just so happens, I remembered seeing my crank pulley, my ARP crank pulley bolt, my dampener bolt that I ordered. Actually just so happened to have 2 of them. And after looking at them, I am certain that these are the exact same bolt. The cam and the crank bolts from ARP are exactly the same. One of them says to torque to 90, one of them says to torque to 100. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that they're the same fucking bolt. And I'm going to use the 2 that I got, finish this cam job, and then when my other 2 bolts come in, I'll use them for my dampener bolts. Moving right along, went ahead and put the crank sprocket on. There's a beveled edge and a flat edge. Well, it's actually a recessed edge, but recess goes to the block, beveled edge comes out. You can know because there's a timing mark on there. I'll go ahead and pop these bad boys. There's one. Save these because you're going to need them to put the primary timing chain tensioners on. Pop. That's so satisfying. All right, now we can throw passenger side cam gear. Needs to go on there. At least that's the same. I was worried if that was going to be different and not work on there somehow, because I've had so many parts already that didn't work. There's that one. And then that side gets the one with the holes in it. Right there. Same thing. Timing marks go out. Bam. Now I'm gonna throw my other 2 ARP bolts in there. All right, got my bolts all in. ARP torque sheet says 90 foot-pounds. I'm gonna do 60 on all 4 first, and then I'm gonna come back and hit them all at 90. I got my 3/8 socket in the back to hold it in place. And yeah, I'm just gonna torque. There's no, as far as I know, there's no certain sequence. So I'm just gonna do these 2, then I'll do those 2, and then come back and hit them at 90, and that'd be it. All right, first primary chain on. Excuse me. This timing mark is supposed to point down in that general area. Doesn't really point at anything, if you ask me. The chain has 2 discolored links. One goes on the dot on the cam. The other one goes on the dot for the crank. You can see there's a tooth there. And now I'm going to do the second one. Same thing. Dot for the cam. There's a dot for the crank. We'll line them up. All right, so now here we have our primary tensioner guides. They're not marked, but this one with the little nipple goes on the passenger side here. This one without the nipple goes on the driver's side. The nipple goes in towards the block and then rotate it up. So there it is, it's in there, nipple towards the block. And then driver's side, obviously you can only go one way, just like so. All right, I've already got them in there, but you have a left and a right side marked tensioner. Driver's side is the left side, passenger side is the right side. I already got the bolts snugged in. I haven't torqued them yet, but you're supposed to torque them to 18 foot-pounds and then pop them. All right, all torqued in. Figured I'd let you guys see the fun part. Pop. It wasn't as satisfying as the cam sprockets are, but there she is. Marks are still good. All timed up. Wasn't so bad. Now we gotta do the lifters, or the cam followers. All right, put the followers back in. Took the spark plugs out, that way it's easier to turn over. So for me, I'm just throwing a long zip tie in there, and rotate the engine over until you get one of these cams to come up. In this case, this cam right up here. Once I see that the cam's up and the piston's going down, I know that I can pop the follower in there and not hit a fucking piston when the valve opens. This one already did, but do one more. The other side of that one, that's already open. So with these, you get your spring, you get your lash adjuster. So the ones back here, it's kind of hard to do while I'm holding the camera in my hand, but the idea is you kind of get the follower to sit just on, man, this is really hard to do. Okay, something like this. Yeah, back this one up a little bit. But get the lash adjuster to sit where it's pointed towards get the follower to sit where it's pointed towards the lash adjuster. And it's sitting on the valve tip here. And now I'm going to take back of a socket extension, kind of stick it right on there. For these ones, it's probably easier to go from the bottom. But yeah, so that's the angle I'm going to get. So now I'm going to take a rubber mallet and I'm going to whack the end of this extension and it's going to pop right on there. And I wish I could record that and show you guys, but I can't do, I only have 2 hands. I don't have anywhere to put this. these ones up here. This is the next cam going up with the piston going down. These are my favorite to do because they're much easier. I already got one in. I really just need to point that at your lash adjuster. Same concept as the other one. Get it kind of set in there to where all you gotta do is push it up and over. And then take a little pry bar, get up in there, and push against it, and it'll pop right on. This one's gonna need some kind of spacer, I guess. So I'm running out of room. We can do it. Let's try it. There we go. Bam, up and in. It's a little bit off center, but roll the engine over a couple times to get it back on. See if I can rock it. Roll the engine over a little bit and yeah, pop straight the way it needs to be. So we're good there. All right, so that's pretty much a wrap. Turn it over, I got them all in. I turned it over a few times just to make sure everything was still nice and working as it should. And yeah, we're all good. Now I gotta do a timing cover, but that's a job for another day.